My boyfriend comes home injured every day, and he will not tell me why. I am a 26-year-old woman living with my 23-year-old boyfriend, who is the love of my life. He has always been honest with me about everything, but recently, I feel like he is hiding something terrible from me. For the past 2 months, every time he returns home after work, he is bruised and injured. These are not small injuries. They are glaringly visible, like bruises and cuts on his abdomen and legs. These are serious injuries, and I am very worried. The worst injury he had was about 13 days ago. He came home at midnight, and I was still awake, engrossed in some work. When he walked in, his whole hair and face were disheveled. He has a middle part in his hair, and it looked like some of it had been cut off. His cheekbone was badly swollen, and he had a black eye. When I saw him, my heart sank. I rushed to him, my mind racing with fear and confusion, trying to ask him what had happened, but he just told me he did not want to talk about it. I have tried everything to get some information from him, but he refuses to give me any details. He keeps telling me not to worry about it. I have told him that I would go to the police to report what is happening to him, but he pleads with me every time not to do that, or else he will break up with me. The desperation in his eyes when he begs me not to call the police is heartbreaking, and it leaves me feeling powerless and frustrated. I am so incredibly worried for him, and I feel like I am caught in a nightmare where I cannot do anything to help. He has not done anything to deserve this torment, and I have been racking my brain, trying to come up with reasons for what could be happening, but I am at a loss. He truly is a person who lives a simple, peaceful life. The only explanation I have come up with is that my boyfriend is one of the few minorities in a very conservative city. However, even with that, he has friends and connections, so it does not make sense. Update. Yesterday, I reached my breaking point. I could not stand the silence and secrecy any longer. I confronted my boyfriend, demanding to know the truth. I threatened to involve my family, the police, and even break up with him if he did not tell me what was going on. I told him that his secrecy was jeopardizing my own safety, and he had to tell me the truth. The look on his face was one of anguish and resignation. After what felt like an eternity of stalling, he finally broke down and told me what was really happening. He is in a fight club. I could not believe my ears. It felt like something out of a movie, but there it was, stark and real. He explained that his family in Vietnam, especially his mom, has been pressuring him to send them more and more money. They threatened to cut off contact with him if he did not comply. Even though we both have decent jobs, he was struggling to meet their demands, and he did not want to ask me for money. The stress was overwhelming him, and he needed an outlet. He heard about the fight club from his friends. At first, he thought it was a terrible idea, but as his family's demands grew, he felt cornered. The stress from his family situation was suffocating him, and he found that getting hit in the ring was a twisted form of relief. When he learned that money was involved, he saw it as a desperate solution to his financial problems. This is why he refused to say anything about it. He was following the first rule of Fight Club: you do not talk about Fight Club. That is also why he comes home looking so desolate. He is using the Fight Club as a way to cope with his stress and earn some extra money on the side. It is also why he has been begging me not to go to the police. While the Fight Club itself is not illegal, many illegal activities like drug use are rampant within it. I have talked to him about helping him with money or getting him into therapy, but he insists on dealing with his issues himself. He does not want me to bear the burden of his problems. He wants to handle it on his own terms, even if it means enduring this dangerous lifestyle. For now, I have decided to step back, but I made it clear to him that I will step in if his situation gets worse. I told him that by helping him, I am also helping myself. I cannot stand by and watch him destroy himself. We are in this together, and I will do whatever it takes to support him, even if it means pushing him to make difficult choices for his own well-being. Would I be the bad person if I adopted my dead husband's children? I know how awful this sounds, but it is a recent development, and I am unsure if I am completely in the wrong. Before I married my husband, he had 3 children with his ex-wife. When we got married, the children were 2, and 5 years old. His ex-wife was still bitter, and I say this in the most respectful way possible, but it is true. They had only been divorced officially for a year. The tension was palpable, and every interaction was fraught with unspoken resentment. Custody became a battleground. My husband and his ex-wife fought fiercely for full custody, but in the end, we only secured weekends and the entire months of December and July while the kids were out of school. Consequently, I was not much of a mother figure to them. Rather, I was just their father's wife. My husband passed away 2 years ago in a tragic accident, and since then, I have not seen the children aside from the funeral. The distance between us has grown, and the memories of those short visits feel like a lifetime ago. Then last month, I received a phone call that shook me to my core. My husband's ex-wife revealed that she is suffering from a terminal illness, a brain tumor, and she asked if I could take in the children after she passes. She explained that both her and my husband's parents are too old to care for the children. I still take his mother grocery shopping because she cannot manage it alone. There is no one else who can care for and support the children properly. She mentioned that her sister suffers from addiction, making her an unsuitable guardian. I was stunned. I told her I needed time to think it over and would call her back. My mind was a whirlwind of emotions. It is heartbreaking that she has to consider who will care for her children when she is gone so soon. But I am not ready to jump into full custody of 3 children whom I have not seen in 2 years. Update. I want to thank everyone for their condolences for my husband and the life he lost. Your support means a lot during this difficult time. I was not sure if it was my place to update this, as I am sure many people will think me awful for my decision. But at this point, I need to release these feelings from my chest. As you know, my husband's ex-wife is ill, and I feel a great deal of sympathy for her and her children. But it has been a very long time since I was in any way a parent to them. Even as a stepmother, most of their care fell to my husband. I do not feel I could properly care for them and manage my own life. I told her this, and it broke my heart to see her reaction. She cried and coughed, and the guilt I felt was overwhelming. But deep down, I knew my decision. I was not going to take in the children. I just did not want to acknowledge it because it made me feel terrible. I wish I could tell you where she decided the children would go, but after our meeting where I told her my decision, there has been radio silence. As much as I would like to say they are going to a perfect home where they will be fine, I do not know. Their mother does not owe me an explanation, but I do wish them and her the best. In the best case scenario, I pray for her health and hope for a miracle that will allow her to stay with her children for as long as possible. Am I the asshole for making my family cancel their vacation because I refused to watch their dogs? My parents, an 82-year-old father and a 75-year-old mother, recently asked for my help in planning a much-needed vacation. They also wanted me to organize the trip for my 43-year-old brother and his 33-year-old wife because they wanted to take a family vacation in September. My husband, who is 46, and I, a 41-year-old woman, cannot afford to go because I am currently out of a job. Although this would be the first family vacation I will have ever missed, which made me really sad, I said I would help. My mom even mentioned that it might be for the best because I would be able to watch my brother's pugs and my parents' chihuahua. Here is the issue with watching the dogs. It is a 24/7 job that requires me to stay at my brother's house. The dogs are wonderful but very high maintenance. Due to this, I have been telling my brother for nearly 10 years that he needed to hire a dog sitter. Money is not an issue for him. I have dog sat for them 3 times this past year, with durations varying from 1 to 5 nights. They paid me well, but I do not feel comfortable staying at their house, and I find the round-the-clock care exhausting. My husband and I have 5 cats, and we are no strangers to feeling like our pets are our kids. But we do not have dogs for a reason. Now, I am supposed to be booking this trip for my brother, but he has not even asked me about watching the dogs. Sunday at family dinner, everyone was there except my sister-in-law, who was ill. My brother was sitting across from me, so I reached out to hold his hand and said that I love him and I love the pugs, but I cannot watch them when they go on vacation and that he needs to get a dog sitter. I explained that it was just too much to ask me to be trapped at their house for 7 nights, and I have been asking him to hire a dog sitter for nearly a decade. I even offered suggestions and said I would help find someone. He started to get reactive and said that they would not watch my cats anymore. I said that was fine as we have a cat sitter, but I pointed out that I always ask them if they can help. They, on the other hand, did not ask me. My brother finally conceded that it was a lot to ask for 7 nights and 5 dogs. Yes, 5 dogs, because his mother-in-law was apparently planning to go too, adding 2 Italian greyhounds to the mix. I stayed calm and gently pointed out that I felt this way before knowing there were 5 dogs. Can he imagine how I felt? He seemed to understand. By the time I left dinner, there were hugs and kisses, and all seemed well. I knew my brother was upset, but he seemed to understand, and I was really proud of putting up boundaries. The next evening, I called my parents to see if they had heard from my brother. Apparently, he had called them after he got home from family dinner and felt blindsided by me. My sister-in-law was just as upset as he was. They think I am throwing a tantrum because I cannot go on the vacation. While yes, that sucks, I told him my real issue is being trapped at their house for 7 nights. Now they are canceling the vacation because I will not watch the dogs. Am I the asshole for telling them I will not do it? Update. My brother apologized, and we were having a very good and calm conversation. We were reaching a point where I was willing to make a compromise because I finally felt heard. Then my sister-in-law, who had had an attitude the whole time, snapped, "Okay, so what do we need to do to resolve this?" Things started to get heated because I felt her tension and tried to acknowledge it. I said that I was really hurt by my sister-in-law's actions. I left it out of my original post, but she had complained about helping me clean my house before my wedding. I later found out that she told my dad that I had moldy dishes in the sink, which was humiliating. I said it hurt a lot when I learned she brought it up again as part of her argument for why I should watch the dogs. She sarcastically said, "Oh, so I am the villain." I said, "I feel like from what I have gathered from my parents this past week that you think I am sabotaging this vacation because I am jealous that I cannot go. And if you think that, you really must not know me, and that hurts." She replied with the same rude tone as earlier, "I must not know you because that is 100% what I think." My eyes welled up because I felt like she had just sucker punched me, and she looked at me and said, "Here comes the temper tantrum." I stood up to leave. Then I turned around again and said over everyone yelling my name to calm down, "If you, with all your time, money, and resources, decide to not go on vacation, that is your own decision and not because of me." I got out of the house and sat in the car until my husband came out. She was in my wedding. I have been so happy to have her as my sister-in-law. I have been nothing but loving to her. Now I see she does not care about me. I am gutted. It is clear that she has zero respect for me and probably never even liked me. I am devastated because my family is everything, and I feel like my relationship with my brother will be forever altered. She is not the person I thought she was, and now I am not only refusing to watch the dogs, but I guess I am also accepting that I do not have a sister like I thought I did. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear more interesting stories and perspectives, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and share it with your friends. Don't miss out on more interesting videos. Click the video on your screen to check out my previous interesting content. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment below. See you in the next video.